Hey, I'm Dakota Peak. Today we're going to be looking at how to build or add a blog to our Wix website using the Wix website editor or with a Wix ADI generated website. If at any point in this video you want to follow along, there's a link in the description where you can build your very own blog for absolutely free, no credit card required. So let's jump into it. So here we are in the Wix website editor. If we go to the top left portion of the screen, we can scroll down and see that we actually don't have a blog currently added. We can fix this by going over to the action buttons on the left side of the screen and click the button that says Start Blogging. We'll hit Add Now, and this will add a blog page to our actual website. Once it's done loading, we'll have the option for a Wix blog or a Wix blog and members area. Since we're only creating a blog for our company's website, we don't actually need a members area where users can actively interact with our blog. We'll hit Next, and then we'll be immediately taken to our blog's page on the website. Here, we can scroll down and see all of the blog posts that are automatically generated by Wix when we first create our blog. We can manage these by clicking on the button that says Manage Posts in the top left portion of the screen. This opens our blog post manager, where we can see our published, draft, scheduled, and trashed posts, as well as manage all the different categories that we can create. If we go to published posts, we have a few other actions where we can see our blog settings, our analytics, hire a blog writer, and import WordPress posts. This is especially useful if you already have a WordPress blog, but you want to import them directly to your website. For now, we'll select the 3 posts that already come with the website, and we'll click Move to Trash. If at any point we accidentally trashed a post that we didn't want to, it will show up here so we can restore it at a later date. Now, let's create a new post. We'll add a catchy title and add content to our blog. First up, let's add a photo to our blog. We'll click Add Image icon after the little plus icon. This brings up our Wix Media Library. If we don't have any photos already added, we can select them from our folder on our desktop and drag and drop. From here, we'll select the photo and click Add to Page. Now, we have a few different layout options. We can keep the image at its original size, small fit, best fit, or full width. We'll keep it at best fit for now. Additionally, we can align the photo to the left and have text on the right, align it in the center, or align it to the right. We can also add a link to the image to link to an internal or external link from the website, edit it, change the settings of the image, replace it, or delete it. For the settings of the image, we want to add a title to it. This is essentially just a caption, so we'll add our copy right here. For our alt text, this is what will show up if the image doesn't load for whatever reason. It also helps in terms of search engine optimization. If you don't know what this is, it helps the visibility of your website on search engines like Google or Bing. Again, we can also add a link to the image, which we won't do here, tell the link to open in a new tab, or tell Google to ignore this link. Next, let's add some content to our post. Now that we have some content, we can look at a few other layout options. With Wix, we have the option to add layouts to our text. This is different ways of organizing our text. So we can have this first section as section 1. Now, Wix can identify this if we select it by going over to our title and clicking it once. This is the title 1. It's generally only used for the actual title of the post. However, if we click it again, we can see a little T2. This is our title 2. This is used for subheadings within the post. It's a way to better graphically organize all of our information on a page. We can do the same thing with a section 2. Again, we'll select the text and click title once, twice to make it a title 2. With text, we also have the option to bold it, italicize it, underline it, change the text color, or add it as a quote. We also have the same alignment options of left, center, right, and justify, as well as adding it as either a numbered or bulleted list. We also can adjust the line spacing, add a code snippet, or add a link to our text. Now that we have our blog post, we'll go over to the Settings tab. From here, we can add a display cover image. Since we already added a first image into the post before any of our text, Wix has automatically loaded this in. However, if we wanted to update it, we could click and select a different photo from our library. From here, we can add a published date. If the post was published previously in the year, we could add that exact date that it was published. We'll also add the author. Since there's only one user for this website, my user account is the only one that pops up. However, if a different author created the post, you can add them here. We'll also add an excerpt. This is a basic synopsis of our blog post that will show up on our blog page. This helps users to better identify which blogs that they want to view. In general, you want to keep this pretty short, not more than 2 to 4 lines, since any longer than that can get cut off in the preview. Next, let's go over to SEO. These are the different options of how your blog will show up in search engines like Google, Yahoo, or Bing. From here, we can add a custom post URL slug. This is the ending part of our URL after our domain name. If our domain were dakotapeak.com, our total URL would be dakotapeak.com/awesome-sauce. Next, we'll want to put the title of what we want our blog to show up as on search engines. For now, we'll keep it the same as the actual name of the blog post, Awesome Sauce. As we can see as our preview on Google, it shows up as Awesome Sauce, followed by our full URL, the domain of our website, with our URL slug at the end. Next, we'll add the post description. Wix automatically loads this from the content of our blog post. However, we want to create a better synopsis of the blog post so users will be enticed to actually read it. For now, we'll add the same content that we added for the excerpt in settings. So now we have all our SEO settings. Next, we can look at categories. We can add this post into a category or create a new one. All of your categories will show up here, so you can add a post to one or many categories or none at all. This just better helps organize all of your content on your blog if you have a few different subjects that you talk about. Great, so now we have our finished blog post with all of our SEO and settings attached. Next, we can go to publish, and we can directly publish it now, or save it as a draft to edit in the future if we're not done with it, schedule the post for a future posting, or view the post settings again. For now, let's just go ahead and directly publish it. After we publish it, we're taken directly to our blog post manager. We'll click on Published and see that our blog post is now on there. We'll exit out of this, and as our blog page reloads, we'll see that our first blog post shows up. Let's click Preview. If we click it, we are immediately taken to our blog post. We'll go back to the editor and go back to our blog. Now, from here, we have a few different layout settings for our actual blog page. We can click the page, and instead of clicking Manage Posts, we'll click on Settings. From here, we can access the different display settings of what will actually show up on our blog. We can view or take away the author name, publish date, and reading time, among other different actions. We can also access our layout for the actual blog itself. This is how posts will actually be displayed. We can have them as a side-by-side, editorial, tiled, magazine, show the full post, or a column of posts. We also have different layout settings for the spacing among the different posts. We can also specify how many posts per page to load and whether we want infinite scrolling or to navigate among the different posts with different pages. We can also look at the design of the actual page itself. We have a blog menu where we can change the different colors, of our posts, as well as our category feed. This is the different categories that will be displayed here next to our all posts. We can also change the button text and background colors, as well as the feed area background color. Lastly, we also have direct Wix support right from the blog. Awesome, so we see how to build a blog in Wix's website editor. Now, let's quickly look at the differences between that and adding it in Wix's ADI-generated websites. So here we are in our Wix ADI-generated website. If we go to the top left corner, we can see that we don't currently have a blog attached to this website. We can add one by going over and clicking Add Apps. From here, we can scroll down until we see the service that we currently want to add. We see blog, we'll hover over it with our mouse and click add. This will automatically add a blog feed to our website. If we hover over our screen, we can click on Design, Manage, and also view the settings for this page. We'll click on Manage. This will take us to the exact same blog manager that's in the Wix website editor. Now, if we view our blog page and hover over it again, we can click on Design. This is where the ADI-generated website and the Wix website editor differ. We can see that we don't have as many custom controls to choose the different layouts for our blog. We can see that we don't have a ton of options in terms of different layout options beyond the different layouts that Wix automatically provides. This is really great if you just want to build your blog quickly and get to creating content and not spend your time designing the actual layout of the blog. Beyond this, we can also go to Settings and see that we have a very basic layout in terms of what should be displayed on each blog post. We can have our author name, date and reading time, views counter, comments counter, likes counter, and login button. We can also have the option to send email notifications to subscribers for our blog. Beyond this, the process for creating and updating blog posts is exactly the same for the Wix website editor. So as you can see, building and updating a blog in Wix can be super straightforward and simple. If you like this video, you can help me by dropping a like below. There's also a link in the description if you want to try building your own blog on Wix for absolutely free, no credit card required. As always, I'm Dakota Peak, and I'll see you next time.